Periphery changed how records get made. If you record metal at home, by yourself, with a laptop, an interface, and more plugins than you'll ever need, you're working in a world that they helped build. Misha and that whole camp were getting professional sounding recordings out of bedrooms before anybody even thought that was possible. The way that you track guitars right now probably traces back to what they figured out. We've also worked with Periphery a few times, and they're one of my favorite bands to have anywhere near the URM Academy world. So when there's a making of documentary of how they put together a record, I want to see it. In full disclosure, I haven't even seen a minute of this one, so we're going to watch it together for the very first time. For those who don't know me, I'm Eyal Levi, CEO of URM Academy. I've been a producer and guitarist in my band Doth since 1999, and I've been playing way longer than that. One more thing before we start. This one's for Misha. Last year I reacted to Remain Indoors, the making of Select Difficulty, and I actually had texted Misha to ask him which one he preferred that I react to, and it took him a while to get back to me. He's a busy dude, it's not a problem, but at some point I just had to move. I just had to get this done, so I picked Select Difficulty, and within 10 minutes of me finishing, he texted me back and asked me to react to this one, Periphery 5. So Misha, I heard you. We're finally doing it. This one's for you. Let's get into it. Feel like we're about to watch a 1980s instructional video. Shout out to Jeff Holcomb, Mark Holcomb's brother. I didn't know that he directed the last documentary that I reacted to, but just seeing this intro, he has come a long way, so great work.
Second meeting now, the second writing session. And I was really excited to get this started because we kind of learned with Periphery 4 that if we take a little bit of time, we can let these ideas sort of absorb and we can get a pretty good sense of how we feel about them. And I think that's something that helped us all feel really good about Periphery 4, not only when we were writing it, but after the fact, because we were able to sit with the ideas and anything that needed to be improved, we could just go back and improve it.
There's two ways to approach that philosophy. I agree with him for the style of music they make, which is progressive and nuts. There's also something to be said for not second guessing what you do and going with one of the first or second versions of something where you're feeling that initial inspiration. Both have their value, but it totally makes sense that when you have a band like this, that they're going to refine every single last detail. And sometimes when you have complex songs, you don't know that something just isn't quite right, or you know that something isn't quite right, but don't have the answer for it right away. Like, it's like solving a complex equation, and sometimes it just takes time and even a little distance, like he said. So let's talk about video games for a second. I actually had the Periphery guys on Riff Hard Podcast and URM Podcast, which are temporarily paused because YouTube is my priority now. But we talked about video games. They like video games. I have a thing about video games where I get addicted to them. So if I start playing a video game, it kind of takes over my life. Therefore, I try to not play video games because I know how it'll go. But they maintain a philosophy that the good thing about video games is when you have a job that's all-encompassing, like being in a band and running a software company, it's good to have some sort of activity that's mentally stimulating but also has absolutely nothing to do with what you're doing in your job. It's actually really, really hard to find something like that in music because you tend to hang around music people, play guitar for fun, play guitar for work, always be thinking about the band. There's no schedule in the music industry, so you're receiving communication from people about it all day long, all night long. And so it's good to have something where when you're into it, you just have to focus on that one thing entirely. And so they get a lot of peace, I guess, from playing video games. But I think what's really important is the ability to put it down and get back to work. And I personally don't have that. So I'm wondering in the comments, if those of you out there play video games and also keep up at work and don't let your lives fall apart, let me know how you do that in the comments.
Whatever, there's gonna be synth in the background, so it won't even matter. I'll just ditch it.
Yeah, ditch it.
I'll be playing the rhythm anyways, because you're gonna be playing that part.
I already called the rhythm.
Nope.
I did it.
I wrote the rhythm, I called it. You're playing that part. Fucking leg up on the
I wouldn't want to play that part either.
riser and everything.
It's funny, though. It's funny to me that Misha considers himself not to be a good guitar player. I mean, look, I know what he means, because no matter how good you think you are, you know that there's some monsters out there. I mean, he's got Mark Holcomb in his band, first of all. Also, though, there's Jason Richardsons, there's Jeff Loomis's, there's Spiros, there's all kinds of just inhuman guitar players out there. And so it's good to know where you stand, but for him to think that he's not that good is kind of funny to me, because he's so far beyond what most guitar players on earth will ever even get near to. It's good to stay humble. That's how you keep on getting better.
Typically, me, Jake, and Misha get together and we'll begin writing the songs, basically from nothing. The main difference this time is that Spencer's been a part of it. He actually came out here just from day one, when we didn't really have any songs even partially written. He was here to sort of be part of the arrangement process. And honestly, that's made a huge...
I want to see that again. That is a killer outfit.
He was here to sort of be part of the arrangement process. And honestly, that's made a huge difference.
So we're writing instrumental pieces for the record right now. We've had 2 other writing sessions and written a bunch of music so far, but we don't know like what this record is still. You know, we're still trying to nail down exactly what we're looking for the record. So, you know, we're gonna spend 10 days together, write a bunch of music, and then after that, the guys are gonna drive back to Vegas with me and write some vocals together.
I think it's a really good idea and really cool that Spencer is getting involved this early. Oftentimes in metal, the vocals get written after the music is done. And there's a logical reason for that. It's because you don't want a vocalist to write all these lyrics and all these parts and then have to change them a lot, like to have to change them considerably because the music changed and what used to be the chorus is now the verse or whatever, or this entire part that he worked on is now gone. Some of that is probably going to happen anyways, but it can be pretty extreme if the vocals are written along with the music. While it presents its challenges, what's cool about this is him being part of the writing process will mean that he's going to have a better understanding of how to write his vocals. So it can go either way.
Would that work? Yeah.
I like the idea of going up higher for that.
Yeah, we could do that.
These sessions are, I feel like, the meat and potatoes of the album process, because that's where everything gets written. And we're trying to do this thing now where we're writing on the spot, but as we're writing and as we're demoing, we're trying to get takes, and the operative word is trying, but we're trying to get takes that are solid enough to be final album takes, which ultimately makes our life easier when it comes to actually tracking the record.
That's a really good idea. That's why I suggest that when you're doing pre-pro and writing, take it seriously. Actually get new strings. Actually have your guitar set up. Take that shit seriously, because I can't tell you how many times I've written something where, you know, it was old strings, guitar not totally set up, not playing at my best, just trying to get it down, where I had the energy and the artistic intent for the part and then had to redo it later when it was the real production time, and I could never quite recapture that magic. I know I'm not alone with that. I mean, that's the reason that they're doing it here. And I've heard about this so often from other musicians that I just know it's a thing. So the more seriously you can take your pre-pro and your writing, the better, because hopefully you can just capture keeper takes then, and you won't have to redo it.
And then
periphery writing sessions are really casual, so we just kind of get together with no expectation. We like coming into this more as like a hangout session that we can kind of enjoy each other's company rather than focusing on like having to have some sort of product or something to show for it. Like we don't go into it saying, okay, we're gonna finish an album in this amount of time.
Kind of amazing that they've been together this long and they still enjoy each other's company. It's probably one of the reasons that they have been together this long, but that's kind of rare. It's kind of rare. A lot of bands get to the point where maybe they're not clocking in on the music, but they're definitely clocking in on having to spend too much time outside of what they have to with their band members. And for them to enjoy each other's company, that's a big deal. You should pay attention to that.
That's not what's important to us. What's important to us is we meet up, we get together in a room, and we start vibing off of each other's writing or humor. And from that sort of synergy, we find time to create music. And that's kind of what the first couple of writing sessions for any periphery session start out like. And then once we have the ball rolling with some ideas, then it kind of takes on a life of its own, and the music sort of steers where we go. That takes the pressure off. And really, we found that when we're under pressure, when we're working on an album, we're not as happy with the results. We found that this is probably the best way to work together. Sounds good, dude.
All right, man.
All right, enjoy, have fun, miss you guys. Love
Yeah.
Miss you too, dude.
Miss you too, man.
All right, see ya.
See ya. Bye.
All right, cool.
That is cool. I have never seen one of those before. Replicator tape echo, and it looks like it actually has tape there. Wow. Nice.
Secret weapon. It's recording and then playing back on those heads, which is why it has that degraded repeat.
I wonder if you should replace the tape after a while, because, you know, tape doesn't last forever, or this is a special kind of tape that isn't supposed to be changed out. I'm just curious. I've never actually seen one of these before. I know about tape echo, obviously, but this one in particular, I've never seen like a floorboard version that actually has tape inside of it.
Three other tape delays, actually. This one is from the 60s, which is used on like satellites and a bunch of periphery stuff. Love this one to death. It just doesn't have a chorus effect on it. This one, which is like, or that one there, which is an old Roland unit from like the 80s, and then this one, which is like a modern version of that. So I like.
Notice that the click is still going while he's talking. That's something, I've done that a million times, and I think that anyone who's been in the studio or practices a lot will do this, where you kind of just don't even notice the click. It just becomes part of the background of your life. And so you can be having full conversations, and then that beep, 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 beep is still just going constantly. You don't even hear it.
My tape delays. It's hard to like replicate the effect they have.
This is another one of the reasons for why it's good to take your pre-pro and your writing seriously, as in having set up guitars, getting good takes, etc. Because if you are going to be using analog pedals like this and you're going to be getting some complex tones and one-of-a-kind sounds, good luck dialing that back up. I mean, that's not a preset that you can make on your quad cortex. That is a chain of different pedals that do wild things. You can write it all down, but it'll be very difficult to recall exactly the way that you had it originally. So go for it. Try to get real takes when you're making the sound.
Like,
That's exactly what I was hearing. Instead of
yeah, like make it straighten it out.
yeah, something kind of like that.
Yeah. But I think it needs, the feel needs to change of lyric.
It's great. Yeah. Ba-na-na, ba-na-na-na-na.
I'll have a shape.
This is very, very easy to sing.
Yeah,
too,
that's
which
what
is
you
good
want.
for singability. Does that work
I
better
fucking
there?
love that.
I think it does work well there.
Your heart.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just give yourself a breath.
Yeah. Your heart is open. Your heart, your heart is open. Is open. What if it was less held out? Your heart is open.
Yeah, do that.
Your heart is open. Your heart is open. I can't fucking find the beat to land on there.
Your heart is open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your heart is open.
A drummer who can help write vocal melodies. That's a rare one. We all know that Matt Halperton's a great musician, great drummer. It's cool that he can actually contribute vocals as well.
It's good to be here finally with everybody. One, you know, we all haven't been together as the five of us in 2 years. Yeah, more than 2 years. Our last show was February 16th, 2020. And that was the last time we were all together.
Whew.
So being together now is great, and we've all just kind of fallen right back in step with each other, and it's great to do it around the writing process.
You need open hats for a chorus.
No, I'm saying it shouldn't all be closed. I'm saying the staccato hats should be like in the, like almost like ghost notes leading into those open accents.
Tomorrow at 9 a.m.
I remember a time when drummers used to be so afraid of the piano roll and of programming drums. They just felt so threatened by it. And here you have one of the best drummers in the genre, just like helping write the parts via MIDI. And I know it's actually pretty normal now. I'm sure there's a lot of people watching who grew up in this era and have never even encountered drummers who are intimidated by this or feel like they're going to be replaced by this, out of a job. But I just think it's so cool because me personally, I don't like being in a super loud room getting high pressure waves coming at me for hours and hours and hours and hours. Like, it hurts to be around drums for 6 hours straight. This is such a better way to write, especially if the drummer can articulate what they want or program the drums themselves.
I think most of what the last 2 years, the pandemic has given me is like this complete newfound appreciation for it on a different level, where I'm looking at the little things and be like, wow, it's just nice to be around you guys again, I haven't seen you in 2 years, you know? Like, we've FaceTimed and we've talked, but I literally haven't seen you in 2 years. And I've seen the other guys, but it's mainly, you know, it's been for a week and a half or 2 weeks, and we work on music. I like the fact that I'm able to just like say to myself, like, oh, this is not normal. Like, I want to be able to look at this and be like, this is fucking special. Like, what we do is special, and I don't want to take it for granted. I think right now I'm really, really savoring every little thing about doing this, you know, like every little thing. I'm just trying to just take it all in, because it felt like we haven't had it for years.
So one interesting thing that I picked up on during the pandemic was that a lot of musicians who were feeling maybe burnt out or taking for granted the fact that they had such a cool career were suddenly appreciating it for the first time in a long time. There was a time period where it was pretty normal for musicians to complain about touring or complain about their careers, or just like, I don't know, like do this performative thing where it's harder than it really is, or they just did the normal human thing of taking things for granted, which we all do. We have to fight to get out of that. But I think once the pandemic came along and took that away from everybody, they didn't really have a choice. They could not go on tour anymore. I've spoken to so many musicians, and that's when I was podcasting the most, so having the most conversations. By and large, they were all just feeling like, holy shit, I took this for granted. Now it's gone. I'd do anything to have it back. And so right now you're seeing them having it back after the pandemic and just being like, fuck, I thought this might have been gone forever. Get it.
Phone call on that one.
I wonder who wrote that. And I wonder if they get royalties for it.
Are you serious? The neighbors just called 911. Dude, yeah. That's so funny because they hear music coming from here all the time. I think you'd think they'd put like 2 and 2 together that were like.
It's probably the screaming. I have a feeling that it's probably something to do with the guttural screaming coming out of there might have triggered the 911 call. Just a hunch.
Recording over here.
Invite him in and listen to the track. Let's get the cops and shit.
Did you tell her we're like recording like for? Okay, cool. Okay. All right, thanks, dude. Jesus Christ.
Real World Studios, an amazing place that I've never been to, but would love to at some point, because just look at it.
Are there any new techniques or new things that you are utilizing for this session as opposed to other sessions?
I think the biggest differences are to do with the recording in one room environment. That changes the dynamic a lot of the recording, I think. That makes it a lot more fun. And as a recording engineer, it takes me a little bit away from that kind of isolated listening situation. And I think it's really cool because I'm hearing you playing drums in the same room, feeling it, and hearing the kit from a bit more of a distance. And it's super cool actually to have that perspective on the kit while we work.
I've wondered about the recording in the same room as the drums thing. I mean, I did that back in the day, you know, with demos like long time ago when I was going to studios as a teenager, but never in my adult life. And I imagine that actually judging the drum performance is going to have its pros and its cons, because how loud do you have to have the headphones in order to hear over the drums in the room? Also, how do you judge between what you're hearing in the headphones versus what you're feeling moving through the air physically, it seems like it would be very distracting. On the other hand, like he said, it removes that sense of isolation. It removes the whole lab rat element of you're in the control room and somebody else is inside of the laboratory getting scrutinized and judged. It's an interesting approach. I just wonder how much more objective you can be when you're getting pummeled in the face by loud drums the entire time. Obviously, these dudes know what they're doing, so there's got to be something to it.
I quite like how the workflow has been as well. It's been enlightening how frustrating it can be, even with just like 15 extra seconds of waiting for you to come in the room or for us to like be able to converse about something. Whereas here, we don't, half the time I don't need to get up, nor do you. It takes so much less time. I mean, it seems very trivial, but those things actually in the moment when you're trying to get the job done can be extremely frustrating and cumbersome to deal with.
What I like about this setup, it seems like you've got both the benefits of a smaller room with the baffles here and a bigger room with this super high ceilings and the stonework. Oh, and wood up here. Very, very interesting room construction.
This has been quite a process. You know, it's taken a long time to solidify the songs, for everybody to kind of show up as their true self, I think, was something for this record that kind of happened organically, where we all kind of were working through our own personal things and we were all working through things as a band. And the result of it is the most honest representation of where each of us are individually and collectively at this moment in time.
Pro tip, if you have a hard time counting odd groupings or odd time, this fingers against the thumb trick is a really good one. You should try it sometime. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. It's a really, really good way to visualize a polymeter.
Come over here, we have a whole bunch of pedals. I don't know what will end up on the album. If we do reamp, this always goes on the heavy stuff, the Horizon Devices Precision Drive. This Microcosm is a really wild pedal. Don't know if it'll get used. This is a very special pedal here, the Generation Loss. It makes it sound like an old VHS or old tape, you know, that sort of effect. You gotta have a decent gate. This is pretty cool. This is a God City something, a BJR. Not entirely sure what it does, but it's sort of like fuzz distortion kind of thing. We got an octave here. We got a Digitech whammy for using a little bit, and that's an expression pedal I'm using with the Axe Effects. It helps with some of the laser sounds.
I've been writing so much of this material on this guitar and just sort of demoing at home, so I wanted to keep things really consistent. The only difference here with my other 6-string signature models is that this has different pickups. These are kind of new things.
I've got one of his signatures. Let's see, right here. Actually, like this guitar a lot, believe it or not. I'm usually not into other people's signature guitars. It's kind of weird for me to play a guitar with some other dude's name on it, but this got sent to me. It's got Evertune in it. I like it a lot. It's a great guitar.
Working on with Seymour Duncan, you know, it's prototyping, seeing if we can improve off of the Alpha Omega set.
Hold on a second. That is quite the gaming rig. Like, what is going on here? Pedals, multiple joysticks. I don't know what this is. Looks like some kind of knob. I think speakers. Obviously, keyboard. Yeah, he is set up.
So here we have our one electronic song on the album. It is called Cocknet. I'm just kidding. It's called something else, but that was the demo title. And a cocknet is
It's a good title.
net that is in swimming trunks. So the song starts like this.
I mean, what else are you going to call it?
So what's cool about this sound is this is one of my favorite software synths. It's called the Diva. It's made by a company called UHE, and I use this on everything. Like, this is on pretty much every track on my solo stuff. We use this all over Periphery 5. Pretty sure we used it on Periphery 4 and maybe Periphery 3. If you can't afford the hardware, or you can't find the hardware, or whatever, this is probably your best bet. So one of the key components of that kind of old school sound is the OCS 45, and this thing is cool because you can add a kind of like a retro cassette sound, like a warbling that only happens on like old tape, and you can even customize it. You can like customize the noise, because you'll hear like a very like low static if you listen to cassette tapes, and you can customize what that sounds like. Damaged or much older cassette tapes will have dropouts and stuff. And
it looks like a great plugin. I've never seen these two plugins before, or I don't remember having seen them, but they seem really awesome.
And to accompany that, we have some delay. We use H delay, Waves H delay.
Classic. If you've never used H delay, what are you doing?
And make it a little bit louder with the Decapitator by Sound Toys. And then there's a little bit of compression on there too. And that's kind of cool. It's kind of a cool way to kind of establish that, hey, we're going to synthwave territory. Here is kind of like the brains of everything. Brains! We have an Axe Effects that we're using as amp modeler, as a DI, as a tuner. We control everything on Axa, which is on the computer. We have one of Misha's invectives. We take DIs of everything, so we'll probably reamp certain things if we were trying to go for a different vibe, or just try things out and see what sounds the best. We'll do this thing where we'll do like a blind tone test. So it'll be like me and Misha.
I think that's the best way to do it, and also the best way to get over biases. I've done the blind test with clients who were very anti-modeler, where you'd have, 3 tones reamped through real amps and 3 of them through like Kemper profiles or whatever. People would pick their favorite one, and you wouldn't tell them which one they were. And even people who are like anti-Kemper or anti-modeler oftentimes would pick that tone as their favorite. Not always, but it's good to go into these types of tests blind, because your brain will trick you. If you go in with a bias, like say you really, really like 5150s, and you know that number 2 of 5 is the 5150, your brain might trick you into just liking that one better just because you want to be loyal to your bias. However, if you don't know that number 2 of 5 is the 5150 and you still pick it, well, hey, awesome. But it might not be.
Kind of figuring out which tracks we want to mess with or reamp. Then we'll do 3 passes through the Axe Effects or the invective or whatever. And then we'll call market and we'll be like, all right, which one do you think sounds the best? We'll experiment with a lot of stomp boxes. And what's cool about doing things this way is that you can get really, really custom sounds that can create either inspirational moments or just kind of like that motivation to kind of create things that, you know, aren't a preset, and you just kind of go based on feel. You kind of let the pedals direct you, which is fun.
Like I was saying earlier, that's why it's important to take pre-pro seriously, because when you are going by feel and just dialing up something that you're not going to be able to recreate, like I just said, you're not going to be able to recreate it. So you better capture it right then and there.
So what determines if an idea will make the cut? It's real simple. We all just need to be like, fuck yeah. It's deceptively simple. And it's also very complicated. It's a feeling. It's something that can't necessarily be quantified, but sometimes you just hear a section or you hear a riff or you hear something, you're like, okay, we got something here. If everyone else is nodding, if everyone else is feeling it, then you're like, okay, we're onto something. Sometimes you may think it's kind of cool, but you may be second guessing, and you know, I'll ask the rest of the guys or they'll ask me or whatever. And if it's kind of mixed, then we're like, okay, like, does this have potential? Is there something that we can do? Maybe sometimes all it takes is a little tweak and then everyone feels good about it and then we've got something. But I think we're always chasing that feeling. We always want to feel good about it. I
like the idea that if there is a question, there is no question. So you know it when you get to that fuck yeah moment when you've written something awesome. And everybody knows it. It's kind of like you just all get it at the same time and it doesn't need to be discussed. But if you're feeling like something's off, something's not quite right, I don't mean that it sucks, but just that it's not quite what it should be. Or if like 3 of you kind of like it, 2 of you are like, I think there's no question. In that scenario, it means you either ditch it or you fix it until everybody does have that feeling. But don't just let it stay. Trust your instincts. Trust your gut. If your gut is telling you that there's something wrong with it, then either fix it or ditch it. But always try to get that fuck yeah feeling in your writing.
We want to be the ones who feel good about it. Because ultimately, if other people don't like it, you know, that won't really matter. If we believe in it, then at least we'll know we're getting what we were looking for out of this process. That's really what I chase. I enjoy the chase of this idea. I enjoy the process where you don't know what's going to happen and you see the ideas become greater than the sum of their parts just by everybody's input. So this is the moment that I really treasure.
So that's why these guys matter. You watch how much thought goes into every element on a Periphery record, and you realize that that's how they got to be in the situation that they're in. None of this is an accident. The bands and artists who change how everyone else works, they never get lucky. Like, there's a reason for why they're successful. And the fact that they're figuring most of this out at home on their own gear, well, that's the whole point. That's the door that they open for everyone who's watching this who records in a spare room or in their bedroom. The bar they set is actually reachable. Now, I want to hear from you. Did anything in this documentary surprise you? And if you record at home, how much of your workflow matches what you saw in this? Let me know in the comments. As always, like, share, subscribe. See you next time.